Hello folks and welcome. Sparky 8, The Seven Sisters, got released in February of 2024. This is an LXQt desktop, lightweight desktop. Today I'm talking about fully automated backups. And this is for home use, not server. And I'll also talk about semi-automated backups using Rsync and Grsync. And I'll also talk about tape archive or tar files with your file manager. And there's only one setting you need to activate in your file manager for all that good stuff. If you are going to use Grsync, you'll need to install that through maybe Synaptic Package Manager. And I'm filming in 1920 by 1080, so you can adjust your YouTube player accordingly if necessary. Sparky 8. You're watching this on Linux for Seniors. Linux is for any age, but the name of my channel is Linux for Seniors. Should see an icon floating about. That's very similar to that icon of that person there with yellow bars around it. You can click that if you'd like to subscribe. 320 plus videos and growing. If you don't see that icon, you can still find me on YouTube if you like to subscribe, if you're having that icon missing. That normally means you're watching this on someone else's channel, because you should see always the subscription key on all my videos. All right, let's talk about automated. Now in here, under the Preferences, LXQt Settings, Configuration Center, Session Settings, Auto Start, I have daily backups. I put that in there myself. I can also turn these off and on. This is tied to a script file. You can actually see where the auto start is. Well, you can see the location of it, but I'm going to show you the location of the file itself. And what does that thing actually do? Well, in here is a man-made, or create new folder. Mark created himself a backup folder, and he has 3 folders that he's backing up. Now, whether you want to back up a single folder or 16, it doesn't really matter. Now, keep in mind, we're doing this for desktop. We're not talking server here. So you're not talking cron jobs or ncron or any of that stuff. I'm just talking simple script files that you can put in your startup folder to do general backups, whether it's 1 folder or 16. We're doing 3 today. All right, in here, under Mark's Documents folder, is a folder called SCR. That's where I keep 2 script files. Or Mark does. Mark is a made-up name. This one here, I'm going to give you a demo on that. This one is semi-automated, and this one is automated. Actually, both of them are semi-automated, but this one is actually run on login. This one is not. So I will open both of these up for you, and then I'll demo them. So they have different commands, but more importantly, the pound symbols are just explanations of things. In the United States, we call that pound symbols. You can look that up on the internet. Some people call them hash symbols, but in either case, these are remarks. Anything with that symbol in it is ignored. So this is a semi-automated backup using Bourne-Again shell. There's the bin bash statement. It's using Rsync. You also have another tool in here that comes installed when you install this desktop, LXQt for, and it is Timeshift. That also uses Rsync by default if you're using extension for formatted hard drives. It normally does not back up your personal files though. It's doing a backup of your system files. That's why it's called a system restore utility. I'm doing personal backups, only using 3 folders. This is the local backup. The Rsync with the archive option on, and this one has a little different setting. The VHs are used in case I want to open up terminal and see the file list instead of doing a silent backup. But you can do both on that one. This one just runs in the background. So basically it's source, and this is the destination folder. It's on the local drive. Okay. I'm going to first demo the USB back one. So filming in 1920 by 1080, I'm going to create 2 boxes so you can see these. I have these icons set as large as they can go, unfortunately. Okay, they're currently set as high as they can go. Filming in 1920 by 1080. So if I wanted to see the file list, I would run that. If I don't want to see the file list, I would run that. If you decide to make a launcher, it'll use this one. If you want to run it directly out of the folder, then you can use either or. Now you can see a file list. 3 folders, it's done backing up, and there is a timer that's automatically triggered at 99 seconds. It'll auto close this terminal box. You can also hit the X in the corner to close, because I wrote that in there. But you can see the file names. So if I rerun this, it'll have nothing to do, because it's finished. When I wipe them back out, it'll have something to do now. Then it redoes another backup. And you can see all the file names in here. All right, so what if I want to do this silently? Well, then I do it this way. It's silent, no terminal box. That's how this one is done also. This one, though, is done through setting, through here, and it is done on auto start. So I'm going to delete this on purpose, close it completely out. So start in your menu, go find your preferences, LXQt settings, configuration center, and go find the session settings. Open that up, click on the auto start, and then create your own launcher, or not another function, in other words. I'm going to call that daily backup. The command, I'm going to search for this file here, which is in Mark's home folder, documents, SCR folder, backup local. Wait for system tray, that's what I'm going to select, and then I'm going to close that. And this setting will take effect when he logs back in. Even if I wipe these clean, it will, as soon as I log in and out, it'll re-replicate these. So always make sure that when you get done with this, you make sure that that's on there. It's listed in the list, and it's checked. Otherwise, it won't perform that. If you decide you don't want to do this daily, you can turn this off. That's the beauty of doing this for a desktop. Some folks that run servers and stuff like that, they use cron jobs or ncron. There's lots of different ways of doing all kinds of things. But I'm using a desktop, and I'm going to be using a script file with this setting on. It's just a different way of doing things. But this, again, is a desktop. So if I want that done daily, on login, I do that. So the next time that Mark logs in and out, it will take a look at his documents folder. Did he delete any of these? Did he add some things? Did he alter files? If he did, on login, it'll replicate all that to the backup folder under documents, music, and pictures, respectively. He can also add more folders. All the magic is done with this file right here. Sorry, open. It's using Bourne Again Shell, bash. It's using Grsync with the archive option. And the tilde is his home folder. I use these, actually this is a script that came off another system, and all I did was just change the tail ends. So basically this is going to be, the tilde is representing our user for today, Mark. I had to stop for a second because a lot of times I change the names. Home Mark backups is the destination. So the source is documents. So it's going to back that up to this folder, which is this one right here. And then it's going to create a document folder. And this one here doesn't have to be spelled the same way. You can call it docs if you like. So in other words, if you do it this way, I will save that for a second. And actually, let me just close it. And we're going to re-verify that. If you'd like, I'll open up two boxes so you can see it happening. Control N. And then I will go, and this is now Mark's home Mark backup folder. In other words, right here. So open the full file up. And let me make sure that I saved all my settings. And it is going to be called Docs for the first one. The other two is going to be called Music and Pictures. Okay. We'll do it silently. Now, this is the same as Documents. So these are identical. The only thing I did was I called it Docs. All right, but let's be consistent about it. So what I'm going to do here is wipe them clean. Go back and fix that script file. It only takes a second to fix this. Actually, what you can do too is grab a hold of the name of the folder this way. Now, anytime it doesn't replicate something, always check your sources. So if it replicated two of the three folders, then the folder it didn't replicate is the problem, whatever line is. If it doesn't do music, then that's the problem. And you need to take a look at all the settings in here. Maybe you don't have a space. Maybe there's something missing out of there. But one thing about the way this thing works is, while I'm talking, let me save this. And close and rerun. All right, there we go. So anytime that you're missing something, you should always look at your scripts. You should always test them too. If they're automated, like I was doing the one script backup local for automation, do this first. You make sure that it works before you put it into play. There's nothing worse than trying to figure out why the thing isn't working afterwards. You always want to check your script files first. If it's working, then put it in production mode by clicking your preferences, LXQt, Configuration Center, Session, Auto Start, and create yourself one of those. And keep in mind you can turn them on and off. All right, so this can be run standalone or it can be run in automation mode. That's why I have this one set differently. This one, on the other hand, is set to run with the option of the VHs on, and that only comes in place if you're opening terminal. If you're doing it in silent mode, it ignores most of this stuff. As a matter of fact, it ignores almost all of it, except they will do sync ups. So an example of that, these are the same set of folders, but it's a different script file. So the USB back, whether I execute it in silent mode or regular mode, it's still going to perform backups. The only difference is I'm holding the terminal box open for you to see an incremental file list. That's the only difference. This all again will also auto close because I have some different commands in this one. This one here has the sleep function, which basically holds the terminal box open for 99 seconds. You can put in whatever time frame. If you decide to do that, then if you are displaying it to the screen, you may want to change that number too, because all that is an echo statement. The echo statement just displays whatever's in the terminal box. Backup done, timer set. You can also hit close in the corner. Pound symbols are just fluff, they're text. For our sync lines. All right, let's move away from script files for a second. I'll wipe the drive. And let's talk about a tool that you can use Synaptic Package Manager, and you can install Grsync. Grsync is graphical rsync. It comes, looks like that when you first get it. I will wipe it clean. And I'm going to turn on the settings like you would normally have when you open it. So when Grsync opens for the first time, this is what you're going to see. Basically, what you're going to do is one source to one destination at a time, but it is a nice point and click and really fast way of doing rsync. Graphical rsync. Okay, Grsync. Again, you can find that tool in Synaptic Package Manager and install that. Source, pick your folder. Documents, open. Where are you going to be putting it? Well, since I have this clean USB backup drive, let's use that one. You don't need to punch in any codes. It automatically puts all that stuff in there for you. The one thing that you got to remember is it does not do -- deletes. That means it doesn't do sync ups unless you tell it to. By default, Grsync does not have this option on. So basically, it will only sync forward. So if I do it this way, and I never turn this on, that means it's going to be syncing up documents to the USB drive only if Mark adds more files and folders or deletes more files and folders or maybe edits. Without this option, it will never delete them in here. However, if you turn that on and you resync, it will delete things out of here on the USB drive in this case. Or if it's a folder, internal folder, it will do the same. But this is one folder at a time. I'm not sure how it's going to handle this, but I've never done document. Actually, this is the wrong folder. I apologize. It needs to go in that folder. There we go. That's better. There we go. So this is Mark's backup folder, syncing up documents. So he can also change this up and do music. And close, and then one more folder. Pictures. And sync. So, and then if you have that on, it will sync up these. And then if you do this again, it will have nothing to do. It'll just be done instantaneously because the output is finished. There is nothing to do. This one uses slightly different commands, but it does use an rsync command line. So these are the different ones that they're using here. I'm using slightly different commands, but I'm still using rsync. So if you don't want to use rsync, I have one more option for you. And this option has to be turned on by clicking Edit, Preferences. At least I had to do this. And you make sure that Xarchiver is turned on. I believe this is how it comes. So if you try to highlight a folder and hit compress, this is what you get, nothing. Xarchiver is already installed on your system, or at least it was on mine. So to activate that tool, I hit Preferences, Advanced, Integration, and hit OK. I close and reopen. I have a shortcut over here. I'm going to remove the shortcut and give you another tip in case you don't know how to do this. Click and drag with your mouse. When you see the plus, let go of it. Alright, now I'm going to click on this folder, hold the control key down, music and pictures. So 3 folders, or however many folders you like. Right click on any one of these, hit compress, and you should see this box that says create a new archive, and the archive type is right here. You have 7-zip all the way down to ZST. There's tar here that's not compressed. I'm going to say this again. Tape archive is not compressed. But there is tape archive compressions in here also. Just keep in mind if you decide to click on anything that has extensions to tar, that is compressed and it'll take longer. I'm doing this without. Right now it's asking for a name. I'll just call it backup 1. I would suggest your dates on these too. So look at your calendars and throw a date on them. Now this is a tar backup, tape archive. Okay, it's not that big. I could also do it this way. So now I have not only rsync backup, but I got a tar backup on top. So as you can see, there's many ways you can back up your system. You can do that fully automated through script files. And again, if you write those script files in different ways, this is just one way of doing things. There are many ways to write these files. This is just what I picked, and it's very simple. Using rsync with the archive option only. Archive is very powerful too. And as you saw, it syncs files and folders or directories and files with the folder of your choice. Keep in mind that rsync needs to find the exact folder name. Uppercase, lowercase letters do matter, but when you create them on this end, it doesn't matter. You can call it docs if you like. But I would suggest probably making them the same so you understand what they are. If you are going to be backing these up locally, that's no problem. Just keep in mind one thing. If you are loading up Sparky on an old hard drive, you may want to think about backing these things up to USB or other hard drives as secondary. Because if you lose the drive that you currently have your backups on, you lose everything. USB sticks are very cheap. You can use that as a substitute for USB hard drives. They come in many gigabyte ranges. There's all kinds of backup solutions nowadays. I'm just showing you stuff you can do for yourself. The only thing I added in here software-wise is graphical rsync or Grsync out of Synaptic. So, very simple to do. Search for Grsync. You will find it, and you can mark it for installation. Mine is already installed. It's got a green box. Legends are right here. Thank you for watching Linux for Seniors, and you may want to check out some of my other videos. Take care, folks.